see a live entertainment show, and you're poking around Central Illinois. Look up CU Bands and Fans.
Hey everybody, this is Terry with CU Bands and Fans.
And this is Zach.
And we're in our second podcast, episode number 2. And our guest today is Quentin Savage. Quentin has a few bands. His current one right now is called Last Minute. So, hey, Quentin, podcast.
Thanks for having me here.
Hi, Quentin.
Hey.
Let's talk a little bit about Last Minute. How long has this band been in progress? And how many members are in the band? And what kind of music do you play?
There's 7 members in the band. We've been together for about almost a year now. I think March was the first time we played. So we're coming up on our first year anniversary.
Where'd you play at first time?
First time we played was at the Clark Bar.
Oh, because I believe that Zach and I was there.
Right.
It was one of the last shows that we could go to before everything shut down. And we had a blast, didn't we, Zach?
Yes.
That was a good time. So 7 members, that's a lot. It's like herding cats anyway with musicians. So how do you handle this 7-member band?
Well, all my bands usually end up being big because I like the big sound. 2 or 3 instruments are good, but I like to put as much in there as I can. I understand we don't get paid as much because we have to split it more ways, but I like to bring a bigger sound. However, with that many people in the band, of course, it's hard to sometimes even get people together enough to practice at the same time. So it does poses problems. Dealing with a lot of different personalities, you're trying to put them all together. You got to make it work. So yeah, it can be a lot at times, but it's worth it in the end.
And how is it as far as, because with a band that big, communication has to be key, because if you have a potential gig that comes up, you have to contact each band member to find out if they've got the time and you can book that slot. How complicated is that?
It was complicated at first, but we've got we all are in a chat room on Facebook. So when a gig comes in, no matter who gets it, they post it in there, and we all say whether we're available on that date or not. So we usually have an answer within an hour or 2.
That's awesome, because I'm going to assume everybody in the band works.
Everybody works. Everybody's in multiple bands. So yeah, but they can take a second out. They can take a second out, and when they see the message, and they can always answer it pretty quickly.
Okay. So, and your band has a lot of different instruments. Tell us about that.
Well, the main feature in most of my bands is 2 keyboards. I like 2 keyboards because that opens doors to songs that we couldn't play if you just had 1 keyboard or no keyboard at all. So I like the idea of 2 keyboards. Reckasto had 2 bassists at times. So like I said, I like the big sound. It's different. It's just, I just love the bigger sound.
So the 2 bassists I know you had, I believe, when you were at Clark Bar. Is that right? Did you have both of them then?
Not for Last Minute. Reckasto had, Gilbert and Therese, but it's just been Dawn and Last Minute. Now Gilbert still comes to the shows, and whenever he comes, we let him get up there and play a song with us. But yeah, he's not a member of the band. So Dawn has always been with us. She's been one of the people who started out in this band and stayed all the way up to this point, because we've had a couple members come and go, but she's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, and she's pretty incredible. So is Gilbert. I mean,
yeah.
you haven't lacked in talent when it comes to bass players, that's for sure. And your
Right.
current drummer is who?
Michael Hayes, he used to play with us in Reckasto, and he's playing with us again now in Last Minute.
And is he using the hand drum? That
Yeah,
hand,
he calls it a Zen drum, which is some electronic gadget that has buttons on it, looks like a guitar, and he plays the drums with his fingers. So it's
that
different.
is,
He's had
it's
that
good.
for a few years and that
Yeah,
sounds really good.
he played it in Reckasto when we had Reckasto going.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Reckasto a little bit? Is that still in motion, or have you put that away, or what's going on with Reckasto?
Line up right now. It's basically Reckasto. Michael Hayes, the drummer, me, Kevin on keyboards, Ray on guitar. That's Reckasto. The only thing missing is Gilbert. So Gilbert doesn't play all the time, so he can't commit. The only thing holding Reckasto up right now is a funk bass player, and those are really hard to find. So if we find another good funk bass player, Reckasto just might make a comeback.
How's that different, a funk bass player than a bass player?
Well, funk is rock turned upside down, so the bass is the main instrument instead of the guitar. And it's a completely different style. It's a completely different animal. It's not easy to play. So not a lot of bass players even study it and learn it. So it's hard to find somebody who knows how to do it.
Yeah, and it's important for that type of music.
Right.
If I
It's not
remember
funk
right,
without that bass.
if I remember right, at our very first CU Bands and Fans original artist night at Bentley's, Reckasto was the host band.
Right.
Many years ago.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, so that meant that you guys played, you set the tone for the evening. You played the beginning, and then we had the original artist, and then you guys played at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That was for the rap. And yeah, that was good times.
Yeah, that was fun.
So you've transitioned now from Reckasto to Last Minute.
Mm-hmm.
And Last Minute for coming on a year. And lately we've really noticed you guys are playing a lot more often. You're debuting at some areas that you haven't played at before. And what do you think has helped you get your foot in the door? And also, we might add, you've added a member recently, which is Doc Shred's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings vocals. Is that
Right.
correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you've got your Facebook page up. So I'll let everybody know right now. It's facebook.com/Last Minute Band. It's where they could find you. The information of how to contact you guys and to get you booked is there. Now, when I talk about you, I always say that you guys are, because the number one thing with you guys for me is that you cannot sit still when you're listening to you guys. You guys are you get people up and moving and having fun and dancing. So what's your song choices? How did you decide this is what we're going to play and why?
Well, when I put Last Minute together, what I always like to do, no matter what band I'm playing in, is I like to play something that nobody else is playing at the time. So I listen to what everybody else is playing. I see what kind of genres are being played and what kind of songs from those genres, and I try to pick things so that we can stand out and be unique. What I noticed was there's a lot of bands playing classic music, but no one was playing like the piano-driven classic rock, like Hall & Oates and Steely Dan and Christopher Cross. So that's what I targeted. And I wanted, no matter what genre you play, you can always find something to make people dance. So I just looked for those songs that were danceable, people would recognize, people probably hadn't heard in a long time, and nobody else around here was playing. And that's what I always try to do. And I think that's been key for our success. I think that people like us because they're hearing things that they're not hearing anywhere else.
Yeah, that's typically not covered.
Right.
Because I know your song list is definitely a song list that is not being covered in the CU area. A lot of cover bands, love them all, but a lot of cover bands are, playing, gosh, what we talked about this before, like Heart and so that I do like the uniqueness of that, and the reason that you have 7 band members is so that you can get this set list out there and make people happy and dance, and people love to dance. They love it, and they have fun at your show.
We have fun playing.
Yeah, but people are they really do have a blast listening to you guys, and it's a good thing. It's a great thing. So where did you learn music, and what made you decide to start a band? Starting a band's a big deal.
Yeah. But basically it started in high school. I'm the type of person, whether it's wrong or right, if someone tells me I can't do something or tries to get in my way from doing something, that just makes me more determined to do it. So somebody made the mistake in high school telling me that I couldn't learn how to play piano on my own. So I think it was the next week I went out and bought a keyboard, started teaching myself how to play it. I was writing songs probably in a year. So I started doing that then. Then when I got out of high school, it was probably a couple years, and then I joined a band called Phase 2. Way back, it was like late 90s. And they played soul music. Candy was playing at that time as well. There
Candy
was a,
Foster?
yeah. So we were the 2 bands playing soul music at that time. The manager of that band was Eddie Lane, which is Michael Lane's father, Microwave.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Microwave, and he taught me how to solo. So I kind of learned from Michael, and I learned from myself. And I played in a few bands, Pet Rocks and Main Street, but I got kind of tired of playing what everybody else wanted to play, and I kind of had some things of my own I wanted to play. So I decided one day I think I need to just put my own band together, and that's what I did.
And you're pretty strategic, if I can say that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I try
just
to be.
knowing you and talking with you numerous times, you're very patient, and you seem to focus on timing when the time is right. Am I right?
Right. A couple of bands that I put together has something to do with time in the title. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but I do.
Yeah, and you're pretty patient, because you actually, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Reckasto you had in the works for a long time before Reckasto even began playing.
Yeah. It was probably 2 years when we first started and put the idea together, started practicing. We had people come and go even before we started playing. We had problems with the startup. We had opposition we had to overcome. And so it took a long time to get Reckasto off the ground. But the people who stayed in there at the beginning, it paid off. And one of the reasons I put Reckasto together in the first place was because I was traveling around with Pet Rocks and we played classic rock, but everywhere we went, even in like we were approached in Muhammad and Sodom, and people would ask, anybody playing Motown, funk, dance music? And I said, well, I don't really know right now. So I always wanted to play that music in the first place, but then when people started actually asking for it, then I knew that it was time for us to start.
And this is our area is just a good area for that.
It is. It is. I remember when I was younger, and what I miss about Champaign was you used to be able to go and walk down the street. There'll be several bars on that street. You can go in one bar and hear jazz, go in another bar and hear blues, go to another bar and hear rock, and go to another bar and hear something else, all in one night. And it's just not like that anymore. We've got a lot of great musicians here. I think Champaign still needs a little bit more diversity. And that's what I try to bring with my projects, a little bit, something different.
And so I'm glad you brought that up,
Mhm.
because the band you currently have, Last Minute, is a little more diverse.
Mhm.
Well, Reckasto was too.
Mhm.
But you keep that diversity within your band, and I love that, because it brings so much, and in so many different ways, not only just musically, but your fan base, your following, the music, you know, the reception from fans. And
Mhm.
I think the timing for that, again, is really good timing. And did you start out in Danville?
Who, me? No. We started, I didn't start playing in bands until I moved here. In phase two, in my first band, phase two, that was a Champaign based band. So that was after I had moved here. I did live in Danville for a while, and that's where I started learning, but it wasn't until I came here until we did that.
Yeah. So what do you think about current, like, okay, from a few years back,
Mhm.
like, well, I know in 2012 when we began this, wow, it was, I mean, I would be out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We would
Right.
sit in alleyways and talk about music, and it was so much fun.
Mhm.
And now it's great. It doesn't seem to be as many venues as there currently had been. The
Mhm.
face of downtown Champaign has changed a little bit with the closing of Memphis on Main and Cowboy Monkey, which is transitioned into just a restaurant now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do have Friday Night Live in the
Mhm.
summer, which is fantastic, a terrific thing. The finding places that host live music is a little more difficult in Champaign.
Yeah, it's getting more difficult. Yes.
A lot of it's kind of shifted to West Champaign. We've got Pippa's and Huber's and One T's over in West Champaign. That's several that kept quite a bit of live music.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Huber's has been, forever.
Right.
And you said Pippa's, right? Pippa's, even throughout the quarantine or the shutdown, kind of all of that, once that things were allowed, they just like came straight out with, we're going to do some live music. And they keep doing that, so they're really good about hosting.
I think Reckasto would fit pretty well physically into Pippa's and One T's, but you could never fit all those people in Huber's.
No.
Record
Just have
Store,
to be in the four corners.
Record Store played at One T's when it was Goldie's. We've played there a few times.
I might have been that. Yeah.
And Last Minute is there this Friday. So
You're debuting there Friday the 28th from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m.
right.
Yes, I hope you have a really fantastic crowd, which will be ready to have fun and dance, which I'm sure that will happen.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys are a dance band, so people are out there. It's Friday night. Yeah, I think you'll do really well.
Yeah.
And then we have the Axe Bar, which has recently opened, and they're having live music at the Axe Bar. And then Urbana, we have the Rose Bowl, Nola's, Boomerang's Bar and Grill.
Mhm.
So can you think of anywhere else in Urbana, Zach?
There's a couple places like Sip Yard that are only open in the summer,
Yeah,
but they're closed right now.
yeah. Yeah, so anyway, it's good to see you guys. Boom,
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
yeah, it's starting. Yeah, it's starting to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah. think about like from a few years back to now, has that been like proved to be a good thing for you guys or not so good, or what's your feelings on that?
Since the pandemic, you mean?
Yeah, before the pandemic versus now.
I think before the pandemic, more people came out. I don't think as many people are coming out at all at this point. Probably a little scared, with the new variants popping up. But that's the biggest thing that I've seen is that the crowds aren't as big. There's not that many people coming out right now.
And it's, to be quite frank, it's way cold outside. Like it's ridiculous. But I feel like our summer is going to be so good. I think that our summer is going to be so good, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. We're already scheduling out into summer.
Yeah, it's that, parking lot party or festivals or, events, all of that stuff that I love so much.
Right.
Summer Sounds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So did you guys play Summer Sounds?
No, we haven't played there yet.
Okay. Danville has the Summer Sounds, and it's pretty big.
Reckasto has done that once, but Last Minute hasn't.
Yeah. Okay, what's your goals for your band?
Well, most of us are not in this for money or for notoriety or any of that. We just love to play, and I like to share the music that I grew up with people who appreciate it. So whether it's funk or whether it's soul or classic rock or whatever, when I grew up, I listened to everything. So you might hear us play country before it's all over. But so yeah, so what the stuff that I grew up with and things like that, I don't listen to newer music that much anymore. Maybe that's because I'm old. Maybe it's, who knows. But the stuff I grew up with, I still listen to. So that's what we play no matter what we're doing.
One thing I've noticed, I saw Last Minute when I started out, and I've seen him a few times in the last couple months, and it seems to me, this is my opinion, it seems to me you've added a lot of songs to your repertoire that are songs that more of the audience is familiar with and more of the audience likes. It seems like you've done a really good job of picking songs that the audience would really like.
Yeah, we started with a 7-page list of songs, and we had to try to narrow them down. And so now that we have enough material to play more than a 4-hour show, we're still learning new stuff. We're learning new material now. We want to eventually get to the point where every show is a little different. We can switch songs out. We can play certain things. People who know us can give us, requests that they know that we know. But it's still a work in progress.
And there is one fan that follows you guys that you went ahead and learned to do a song for him because he requested. And what is that song?
That song would be Caribbean Queen.
Which I love. I love that song.
Yeah, that wasn't on our list originally. It wasn't even on the 7-page list. But one day he said at a show, he said, "You guys should do Caribbean Queen." Since he comes to almost every single show. I think he's only missed 2 shows in a year. So we felt like we owed it to him. So we got together and we learned it.
And so what did he do when he showed up? You guys play it? And
we had already played it. He actually came late the night we debuted it. So we played it a second time that night after he got there.
See, that's what I love.
He appreciated it.
That's what I love about our local music scene, is things like that. Not like, well, we already played it once, we're not going to play it again. And, but then the whole reason that you even learned it was because of this one fan that comes to your shows faithfully. That is what our local music scene is about, really.
Well,
and
it actually worked out. I mean, it actually has become one of the songs that people really like us to play. So it worked out all the way around.
I love it. I can't wait till I come to see you guys and I get to dance to it because I do love this. Maybe corny, maybe not corny. I don't care. And I
Mhm.
love all the Motown stuff. I always have
Yeah.
been a
Mhm.
fan, forever. So name a few other songs that you guys do that others. I mean, if you don't mind.
Uh, I can't go for that. Hall and Oates. We do Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. Sunglasses at Night. We tried to pick those poppy songs that people could really dance to. And we're adding some Madonna right now. We do Borderline already, but we're adding another Madonna song. And I'm a big Prince fan. We already do 2 Prince songs, but we're adding a couple more. So
Okay, let me guess the Prince songs. So Purple Rain.
we already do Purple Rain.
Okay.
And we do Let's Go Crazy.
Okay. So, and you're learning one more?
2 more.
2 more?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Tell me then. We all love
1999 and Controversy.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, you guys are really pretty. I mean, that's great. Your music just takes people back, or just a simpler time, or just like where they could just de-stress and forget about everything and just dance and enjoy it. And you guys are pretty engaging, which is another very important. It's very important that bands are very engaging with the people that come to see them, and people that are in the venue,
Mhm.
people, because they like to engage with band and band members. They like to have fun.
Right.
So you got anything else about the band? I mean, I know you play keys. Kevin Hines plays keys.
Got Michael Hayes on drums. You got JD Sanchez and Virginia. Everybody knows Virginia on vocals. And you have Ray on guitar
And
and
Ray is
on
Doc Shred.
Doc
AKA.
Shred. And you got Don Rambo on bass.
Yeah. Don's pretty cool. They all are. Yeah, you have a good group of people there.
It's a good mixture, yeah.
Yeah. And did you say Van? Did you mention him?
Van played drums with us for a little while, yeah. Van Thompson. But Michael's doing it now.
Okay. So is Van still in the band?
No, he's not. I actually have another project that me and him and Kevin is going to work on, but that's a surprise.
Okay. Okay. Well, Quentin, we thank you so much for being on our podcast, and we wish you the best, especially with Last Minute. We think that you're going to go a long way with this band. I think this is a good tight band that has a lot of really great music that's generally not being played right now. So you guys get the people up, you get them moving, you get them dancing. We would be glad to give you guys a review at any time, and also refer you to any venue that's seeking for a band that just keeps people moving, plays some excellent music, and you're all really excellent musicians. So together, you're pretty phenomenal. So we really appreciate you being here. Again, that's Last Minute Band. You can find them on Facebook.com/Last Minute Band. Go to their page, hit follow, hit like, help get this band more heard and well known, which are already kind of like making that pathway right now. Zach, I appreciate your co-hosting, and I appreciate everything you do on CU Bands and Fans. Let me put a plug in right now. Zach and I, CU Bands and Fans, sponsors Homegrown, WKIO 107.9 FM, which is on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. And we are a proud sponsor of the Homegrown show, which features artists who came from Champaign-Urbana, and played in Champaign-Urbana, but they have to have come from here in order to be on the homegrown show. But last Sunday or yesterday, their lineup was so incredible, and it was so much fun to be a part of that and to listen to 107.9. So make sure that you also hit their page and give them a like. We'll see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bands and fans. See you, bands and fans. Musicians will understand. They bring us all together across the prairie lands. See you, bands and fans. That's how I make my weekend plan.